Calling criminal case 16-1-0133, State of Hawaii versus Stephen Capobianco, jury trial.
Good morning. The record reflects the presence of counsel for the parties. The defendant is present, you may be seated, and our jurors are present. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and welcome back. Mr. Nardi, or?
Yes,
all right.
And Mr. O'Connell went to go get our first witness.
All right, fine. Okay. So you may call that witness at this time.
We'll be recalling Peter Guerin to the stand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Be seated. Thank you very much. All right. We have called as a witness Peter Guerin, and the record should reflect that he was previously testified in this matter and previously placed under oath. Do you understand that you remain under oath?
Yep.
All right. Very good. Would you please state your name for the record?
Pete Gehring.
Thank you very much. You may proceed.
Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks.
Can you please remind the jury what you do for a living?
I work for the County of Maui as a Geographic Information Systems Analyst.
And in that capacity, does your job include generating maps?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to show you what's been marked is Defense Exhibit N, is in Nancy. May I put it down?
You may.
Thanks.
Do you recognize that?
I do.
Can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that is?
It's a map I produced last week displaying two coordinates provided to me by the defense.
Okay. And can you tell me what those two coordinates are?
I was given the latitude and longitude of those points, but I have no knowledge of how they were derived.
I understand, but as far as you were given a longitude, 2 points, and they both contained a longitude and a latitude.
Correct.
And you took those and you generated points on a map based on whatever those coordinates are. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so does that map show where those coordinates land when you map them out?
It does.
It does?
It does.
Okay. And I'm sorry, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen on the jury what those two coordinates are as far as the latitude and longitude?
Sure. One of the points is 20.77248 degrees north latitude and 156.24479 west longitude. The second point is 20.77265 north latitude and 1562485 west longitude.
Okay. And I'm sorry, the 20.77248, did you say that was longitude or latitude?
That's latitude.
That's latitude.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have a latitude of 156.24479?
No, it's not possible. It's measured from the equator northward and southward, so the maximum latitude is either 90 or negative 90.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Do you recognize what that is?
I do.
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that is?
It's the second map I produced for you of the same location, same pairs, but zoomed in quite a bit more.
Okay. Now, those 2 coordinates you used to create the map, what are they marked by on the map?
There's 2 orange triangles.
Okay. Now, is there any reason you use triangles to represent those coordinates?
No, I just chose it randomly.
Okay, so it could have been a circle.
Correct.
So the orientation of the vertices or the points of the triangles, they don't have any meaning?
That's correct.
Now, the distance between the 2 coordinates, and let me just to be clear, each coordinate is marked by a separate, there's 2 triangles, correct?
Correct.
One represents one of those coordinates and the other coordinate.
That's correct.
Okay. And so these 2 coordinates marked by triangles on these maps, could you estimate approximately how long it would take you to walk from one to the other?
Believe when I measured them, it was around 60 to 70 feet, so under a minute.
Okay, so 60 to 70 feet is the distance between them, about approximately?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on that map, do you see something that's kind of light brown that kind of winds up towards those locations?
I did.
And in your experience as a map maker, what do you believe that to be?
It appears to be an access road.
I'm sorry, did you say an access road?
That's what it looks like to me.
Okay. Are you fairly confident that that is what it is?
Fairly confident, yeah.
So based on what you're observing in the satellite images, it appears that you could drive right to those coordinates.
Objection, Your Honor, is leading as well as right foundation.
The objection is sustained.
If you wanted to, based on your viewing of the maps, how would you, if you wanted to get to those coordinates, what would be required?
Objection again, lack of foundation, Your Honor.
The objection is sustained.
Were you able to view the satellite images of those maps? I'm sorry, the satellite images that created those maps?
Yes.
And was there anything on those images that indicated drivable access to those coordinates?
You know, again, objection is a lack of foundation for this.
The objection is sustained.
Now, is it fair to say you've generated a lot of maps?
Yes.
And is it also fair to say that based on that, you're able to make certain determinations about what different imagery on that map most likely is?
Yes.
Versus whether it be a river or a road or a valley?
Correct.
And on the map that you created here, based on your experience in this field, does it look like there's, what if any access to those points do you see?
You know, again, I do object. The question is vague and ambiguous, and there's a lack of foundation.
The objection is overruled. You may answer the question.
Based upon the imagery, if I wanted to gain access to that site, it appears, barring any sort of fencing, that you could drive to the site.
Thank you. Now, the tools you used to generate those maps, are those tools regularly used by people in your profession?
They are.
And are they considered reliable by people in your profession?
How long an answer would you like for that?
Are they regularly relied on by people in your profession?
The software or the data?
The software.
The software. Like any software, be it your cell phone, Microsoft Word, operating systems, there can be errors. Generally, it's reliable.
Okay, would there be, did you use the same software in creating these maps that you used in creating the maps you produced for the state?
I did.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move defense exhibits N and O into evidence.
Mr. Rivera.
Judge, we have no objection.
Defendants exhibits N and O marked for identification purposes are received in evidence.
May I have permission to publish them via passing them to the jury?
All right, that's fine.
The corrected one.
the exhibits.
Thank you. I will. I was just going to ask the witness one more question.
Proceed.
And I think this is fairly obvious, that in the corner of those maps, the right corner, there seems to be a separate picture. Can you describe the interplay between the two images?
Correct. The inset map in the upper right is it's called Hillshade. It's an elevation-derived product used to show topography. There's a red square, which correlates to the area of the main map.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's a very much zoomed out.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And again, thank you for coming back today. I have no further questions.
Mr. Rivera.
Thank you, good morning, Mr. Gary.
Hi.
So, if we can bring this onto the screen, this would be defense exhibit. Gary, can we publish defense exhibit N on our screen?
You may.
Because no objection, my phone.
No objection.
And if Mr. Garrett can just approach the large monitor. Oh, it's not on. So, Mr. Garrett, just standing to the side where you're at, the last question that the defense lawyer asked you, you referred to a red square, is that correct?
Correct.
And using the pointers on the ground right behind you, can you show the ladies and gentlemen what you're referring to? Okay, so does that red square, that's pretty much on Maui, does that red square represent the area where these two orange triangles that you mapped using the coordinates that you're given by the defense?
That box
Right.
represents this area to this area.
Oh, that entire area. So the
With the 2-point.
So the 2 points will be
outline.
contained within that
Correct.
within that red square right there.
That's correct.
Okay. And okay, that's fine. Go ahead and have a seat. And Mr. Garrett, you never physically traveled to the two coordinates that you mapped out. Is that correct?
I've not been there. I've driven past on the road that goes up to the crater, but that's the closest I've ever been to that
You didn't turn
location.
into that area.
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Redirect examination, Mr. Nordy.
So then, based on that question, it sounds like you are aware from your experience that you can drive to the road that leads to this, barring any fence that would block.
I'm not sure I've ever noticed that that access road was there
Okay,
because I wasn't looking for it.
sure. All right, thank you. No further questions.
Recross examination.
You never noticed any access road to the points that you've mapped out?
I don't think I was looking for it.
No,
Yeah.
my question is, did you ever notice the access road? I'm not asking if you ever.
I have no recollection of noticing it.
No further questions.
Are there any juror questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. You are excused.
Thanks.
May I call your next witness?
Your Honor, our next witness is about 10 minutes away. I got a message, and he's not going to be long. We'll be certainly finished with him before lunch. Could you just take us 5 minutes?
All right. We'll take a recess while we wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.